Good morning, guys. Welcome to Power Up 365. How are you guys doing this great morning? So, this week I did a video on how money works and what are rich people really working for. So, I'm always tending to do two types of videos. One, let's power up ourselves, let's power up our mindsets, let's add value to the marketplace. And the second thing is strategy on how to build a great business, how to protect your assets. What does accounting mean? How do we hold people accountable? Leadership. Those are the other types of skill sets, because you can want to be successful all you want. You can sit and motivate yourself and you can power up yourself, but there comes a time when you got to actually do something. And in doing something, you've got to have a great strategy. That's why I've always said to myself, I prefer to be called a strategist than a motivational speaker, because motivation will only get you so far, but you need a great strategy. And a strategy that works builds momentum, and then you automatically get excited and get motivated. But there is a moment in time to start the engine. You do need motivation. You need to be motivated in order to get inspired in order to move forward. Because if you are not motivated, if you are waking today and focusing on everything you don't have in your life, if you can't put your life in perspective, then you're never going to get excited, and the best of you will never show up. So if the best of you is not showing up every day, can you really live the best life you want to live? So, today I'm going to quickly speak about something. Have you heard that right now in the US, they're busy fighting on a stimulus package of Donald Trump wanted 1 trillion. That's a trillion. I mean, you guys know how much a trillion is, right? Those are many zeros, 9 zeros, right? A trillion. And Pelosi, which is the Democrats, they want 3 trillion. And I'm like reading at this and I say, but man, what's going on here? There's trillions. These guys are, one guy wants 1.5 trillion, other guy wants, now they're pushing up to 1.5 trillion. I don't know if they've come to an agreement. Maybe they have come to agreement. But my point is, they're speaking of trillions. The next question is, where's all this money coming from? Where is there a bank where there's $1 trillion in there? And one of my friends is, we've always been arguing on the future of the dollar. And he says, and he could be right, that in March, there won't be, by March, he's even saying, I don't agree by March, but that's what he was saying. By March, the dollar will lose its value. The dollar will not be the currency of trade in the world economy, because it's losing value. And the reason why they're saying it's losing value is because people are printing so much of this stuff. And supply demand, if you're printing all the time the stuff, and obviously I truly don't believe they actually physically go print the stuff. They just go to a computer and they say, listen, let's put $1 trillion into the system, and the American government stands guarantee, we promise that we will pay the $1 trillion back. Okay, but I think right now America is on $20 trillion in debt. I mean, when have they ever decreased the debt? Okay. So the reason why I didn't agree with him is because of value. Because I look at the American companies like Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all these companies that are in the US, and that I say, listen, they are still going to be providing the world with their products or services. So they will still be providing the world with a product or service of value. The problem on that concept is, what will be the exchange for that value? What will be the exchange of that value? And yesterday, I heard a great example. So a guy goes and he's got a wheelbarrow and he needs to eat. He wants to go get some bread, right? So he's got a wheelbarrow and he wants to go get some bread. And in this wheelbarrow, there is money. there is money. Call it rands, call it dollars, there is money there. And the bread, due to inflation, the bread has become so expensive that he needs a wheelbarrow to carry the money in order to go and eat. So as he gets to the store, and he walks into the store to go do the deal, and he leaves the wheelbarrow with the money outside, and he goes into the store and says, listen, I want to come and get some bread. I do have the money is outside. When he gets outside, the thieves stole the wheelbarrow and they left the money behind. And that story now fascinates me, okay? Because that tells a lot about the value of money. Now, value, I always speak of value is I need to provide a product or service, take it to the marketplace for an exchange. And money is nothing more than an exchange. Rich people do not work for money. Rich people work for assets. They're working for wheelbarrows. They're working for property. They're working for something that can generate money. But it is starting to become a trend now. You've got to be careful on what you're going to store your money in. Because storing your money in dollars or rands and that might be something that we will have to look. We need to question it. Now, let's go back to the Zimbabwe situation. The Zimbabwe situation was exactly the same thing. Their money started becoming less valuable. So yesterday I was thinking, when I was looking around and studying this, I was saying, but you know what? It's not really about how much money it is. It's about the power of that exchange, of that vehicle that you're using in exchange. So when you were using the Zimbabwean dollar, it lost its power to buy something. So what happens if things are just going to get more expensive and we're going to think that's inflation, but it's really not inflation? It is because the way we're buying it, either with rands or dollars, has become less valuable. So in order to buy that motor vehicle, to buy the bread, to buy the house, you actually need more of this thing. Call it dollars, call it rands, call it, before it was Zimbabwean dollars, whatever you need more of this to buy that thing you want. So then they say, but hang on, the rand is still there, but it's losing value compared. We always say the rand is losing value to the euro or dollar, but what happens if the euro and the dollars purchasing power, value of exchange is losing power? That means you've got to work harder for the rands and the dollars, because now you've got to go provide a more value. You've got to price your service higher, because I can't pay for the water and electricity with the amount I was charging before. So we're thinking now we're going into an inflation, but the means of exchange is becoming weaker. The power of the means of exchange is becoming weaker. Okay? So now the theory comes in, should we store our money in gold? Should we store our money in Bitcoin? Should we store our money in something other than currency? Because currency currently seems like it's losing value. It's buying power to buy that thing that you want, bread, assets. So what happens is you got to be careful to say, listen, maybe I'm working for something through value that will never change. I don't care what's going to happen. Value and exchange is the way the world works. You go and you power up yourself, you develop yourself a skill set, and you sell that skill set through value, and there's an exchange. They give you X, you give them the value through a service or a product, and that is how you build your wealth, your financial freedom. It's by investing in yourself first, building yourself up, getting the right mindset, going out and leading and building a business, then building a team, then getting to leadership, and then understanding finances. Now, most people in this funny economy that we are in right now, where people are just printing money, we're missing on how to store our money. We're missing on how to store our money. Okay? So we got to understand, what are you working for? Are you working for the wheelbarrow, or are you working for the money? Because what will they steal first? What will they see is your value? Will they see the money you made in rands, dollars, Zimbabwean dollars, euros, whatever? You got to understand. Are you really going to store your money in currency? I don't believe ever in the world we're going to move away from exchanging currency. But what happens if you worked for value? There's a theory now. I mean, if you go look at the Robert Kiyosakis of the world, you go work for the value, you give the value, you get the rands and dollars, and you convert that to gold or silver. Now, you keep gold or silver for 1 year, so you get 10,000 rand, and you convert that to gold or silver, okay, or something else, could be a stock, could be Bitcoin, that you convert it. After a year, the buying power, forget the work, the buying power of that dollar or rand, how much buying power will it have in a year's time? And how much buying power will the gold or silver or your Bitcoin or whatever you want to store your money in have? And then you'll have to convert it again to a means of exchange, which would be currency, okay? But you can also have an exchange in Bitcoin. You could also have an exchange in gold. You could go and say, listen, guy, I'm going to give you these gold coins, and you're going to give me your boat, or you're going to give me your house. You could do that. Okay, but there's laws in the world, there's laws in the country that says you need to have an exchange of currency. But how we're going to store our money is very, very important. But my message to you today is twofold. One, understand what you're working for. Understand the power of that what you are working for if you are storing it. And never forget, power up your greatness, power up yourself in order to get to yourself by investing in yourself, educating yourself. I'm trying to educate you guys because I'm sitting and I'm studying all the time, and I'm sharing this with you guys, reading books, investing in yourself, developing a skill set to go out to the marketplace and provide that value through a product or service and build a business around it. That's how you're going to become very, very rich, because that concept will never change. It's irrelevant if the world economies are changing. It's irrelevant if they're going to go and print another 3 trillion or 1 trillion. What's relevant about that is when you have provided that value and you get the exchange, what are you going to store that exchange in? And maybe currency will not be the best thing to do for the future. Thank you very much, guys. This is Johnny Eliades, your success strategist, and I will see you at the top. Cheers, bye.